Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 27 July 2024. So let's get started with our discussion, and here I am taking Delhi edition of Hindu, and whichever edition you are having you can go through that. There will be no problem regarding changing of edition. So here and there you can miss just state related current affairs, that's it. But most important current affairs then will be covered in each and every edition. Okay, don't worry about that. So let us see the front page. So this is front page of your Hindu. So this is the first important article which is relevant from our examination point of view. So if you see title, it says that Supreme Court to examine if governors are subverting federalism. So here the keyword here is federalism. Okay, now let us see the dimensions what you have to see from this article point of view. So here keyword is federalism. So where we can connect this topic? In GS paper 2 we have polity, right? In polity we will be studying about different types of government. There you will be studying about unitary type of government, and second type here is federal government. So unitary is nothing but wherever central government dominance will be there over states. Okay, that means we can say this word centralization of power. So there will be centralization of power, and power is concentrated with center. So this form of government is called as unitary form of government. And second type of government is federal. Federal means there is a proper sharing of power. There is a proper sharing of power between center and state. So this is called as federal form of government. So in India, we will be saying different schedules, right? So we have Schedule 7 of Indian Constitution, and this Schedule 7 talks about 3 lists. Okay, which are those? First one is Union list, second one is State list, and third one is concurrent list. So in the Union list, who is having the power? That is, central government is having the power to make the laws which are listed in this Union list, and the state list, state government is having the power to make laws in the subjects in the state list, and here in concurrent list both central government and state government have the power. So in our Indian Constitution we have Schedule 7. So because of this presence of Schedule 7, can we call Indian government is as federal government? No, because sometimes our government which is having more power which is given to center compared to that of states, right? So because of this we are using one special word to describe our government, especially Indian government, that is called as quasi-federal. So quasi-federal is nothing but Indian government is not entirely federal and entirely unitary. So we are having this form of government that is called as quasi-federal. So what does this article is talking about? Okay, so here this article is talking about power of governor. So this is not a new topic or new issue. Many a times the power of governor is in use, and here this article is talking about Article 200 of Indian Constitution. You have to remember this Article 200 what it is. So here recently this issue happened in Tamil Nadu and now in Kerala. So in state legislative assemblies, whenever state legislature wants to make any laws or acts, then those bills need to be passed in the houses. Okay, so in some states we have 2 houses, in some states we have only 1 house. So here we have bicameral states or unicameral, bicameral or unicameral. Okay, whatever it may be, whether the state is having a single house or both house, so the bill needs to pass in the houses and it needs to get governor assent to become an act. So here what happened many a times, under this Article 200 which talks about the powers of governor regarding the passage of bill, So he is having three options. He can give the assent, or he can reject, or he can send back for reconsideration. So apart from that, one more discretionary power which is there for governor is he can reserve some bills. Okay, he can reserve the bills for president. So this is the issue now. So what is the issue? Your governor is reserving the key bills of states. So because of this, now Supreme Court is going to take these cases under this Article 200 of Indian Constitution. So because of this is utmost important. So this is the background, right? Now let us see this article in detail. So in notes I gave, and today is Saturday. There is no opinion page, there is no text and context. There are very less number of articles are there, and we are going to see those. So if you see here, the title says that Supreme Court to examine governors are subverting federalism or not. So title of this article is talking about federalism, and I explained what is this concept of federalism, and I also explained you the background of this article. So here this article is saying that Supreme Court has agreed to examine whether governors are undermining federalism by dealing some crucial bills and referring them to presidents whose acts on advice of union cabinet. So here whenever the bill it is reserved for the president, so we don't know when president he will be giving sign, because president will be acting according to the aid and advice of cabinet, or Union Council of Ministers, COM, right? Okay, now why it is in news? Because of petition from Kerala argues that governors' actions have denied the state legislative benefits and allowed central interference in the state matters. So whenever governor who is reserving the bills for the president, what happened? Central government involvement is happening in the state. So this is the one petition that had been filed in the Supreme Court by the state of Kerala. So if you see some important details, it says that, so now we can understand that there is judicial oversight. Supreme Court's involvement in this indicates that, so there is a shift towards greater judicial oversight of gubernatorial powers. So actually the post of governor is called as gubernatorial post. So whenever you are writing about introduction regarding governor answer, then you can introduce like governor's post in India is a gubernatorial post. Center wants to control state by using this position of governor. And the second important point here is federalism is under scrutiny now. This petition which highlights about growing tensions between state autonomy and as well as central authority. So because of that, it is raising the questions regarding the true nature of India's federal system, whether we are having the proper sharing of powers between the center and as well as state is there or not. And next one is, even we are saying there will be the legislative delays, so it will be having impact on the governance. So delayed bills, they can hinder governance and as well as welfare initiatives. So in this way, it will reflect how executive actions can disrupt legislative process. And next one is, we are also having some constitutional boundaries. So this case underscores, yes, we need to clarify the constitutional provisions regarding exactly what is the role of governor in state legislation, because many a times the limits of this governor will be crossed because he is reserving the bills for president. Okay, so here we need to know about Article 200 of our Indian Constitution. And next one is, the situation may lead to political ramification as the state governments could challenge the central government's influence. Okay. And next one here is, even whenever this kind of things are happening means, so there will be impact on public welfare. Okay, so whenever the important bills they had not been passed, means it will be having impact on the welfare and as well as governance of that state. So here there is a question of the future federalism, whether the states are intact with the central government or not. So now let us see some facts regarding this Article 200. So Article 200 of our Constitution, which gives the 4 options which are given for the governor. So first one is he can withhold assent. Next one is he can return the bill back for reconsideration, or else he can give the assent immediately. And next one is if legislature reapproves the bill, okay, without accepting the governor amendments or reconsideration, then there is no choice. He have to give the assent. And next one is governor, he can reserve the bill for the president consideration. So this is the one important issue now. So what are the issues and challenges regarding this Article 200 here is overruling the ministerial advice. So if there is a written of any bill to the state legislature for reconsideration, it to be based on ministerial advice. Okay, governors, they are having some discretion in returning of bills, like Tamil Nadu governor, he had been returned the bills regarding gambling. And next one here is there is also now court priority for returning bills. Supreme Court also reminds the governors to take any decision regarding these bills, and whatever the decision they are taking, they have to take as soon as possible. And the next one here is there is no constitutional provision in case of any disagreement between the governor and as well as state. So because of this, whenever there is difference in opinion, so if they will be doing late or they will be reserving the bill for the president. So this is also one important thing that we are seeing in our constitution. So here you can see one question. Under Article 200, governor of a state can perform which of the following actions when a bill is presented to him? He can give assent, and I said he can withhold assent, and next one is he can reserve the bill, and next one is amend the bill before giving assent. So which of the powers the governor has? Okay, which are the powers the governor has regarding this 200 article? So once, please let me know the answer for this question in the comment box. Okay, clear? Now let us see the next article. Next article is very important from your prelims. That is Royal Burial Mounds of the Ahom Dynasty from Assam make it to UNESCO World Heritage List. So it is very important topic, and you may get prelims question regarding UNESCO's World Heritage List. And even in your Nitin Singhani also we have this topic separately. And even 2024 also there was one prelims question regarding this UNESCO's World Heritage List. Okay, so the keyword here is UNESCO World Heritage List. And in this 1 year, so which will be getting this tag, you have to make a note of them. And this topic is important from GS paper 1, from history, from art and culture point of view. Clear? And you have to know what is that exactly, why it got, and what is the importance of getting this UNESCO's World Heritage List tag. Okay, now let us see this in clear context. Says that Cadiomoidums, a 700-year-old mound burial system, belongs to Ahom dynasty from Assam. They were added to World's UNESCO Heritage List and making them 43rd property from India. So the number here is 43, okay, from India, which got this tag. So by this we can understand this Moidums highlights the global recognition of Assam's unique cultural heritage, and it will be encourage pride and as well as preservation. And next one is we can understand archaeological or architectural significance of this Ahom dynasty, and we can understand the societal values of that time. And next one is from historical context. So Ahom dynasty influenced by Hindu practices. So because of this, they used to keep this as the final places of this Ahom nobles and as well as royalties. And this one is because of this recognition that may also helpful in development of tourism in this region, so that it will boost local economy and even promote local culture awareness, and even that will boost economic growth of that state. And next one here is this recognition, which is very important from the north, is because it is also very rich in cultural heritage in this region. And next one here is we can also enhance community identity here. And even if you're getting this type of recognition, means we can focus on at least conservation efforts in the future. Okay, I gave you one mains question. Try to say this question once so that we can go to the basics. Okay, so this is that moidum. Okay, you can see how they beautifully build the entrance and those domes shape everything. Okay, so these moidums are also called as maidens. So they are mound burial systems of Ahom dynasty. So they were from the period of 13th century to 19th century, and these mound burial system of royals of Ahom dynasty were located in state of Assam. Assam is very important here, and they are like royal tombs of ancient China and as well as pyramids of Egyptians. Okay, and actually these Ahoms, they ruled this Assam for 600 years. Okay, so those are the things that you have to remember. And I gave you two prelims questions here. So which of the following best describes primary purpose of moidums or maidens? And this one is moidums or maidens recently included in UNESCO's World Heritage List or associated with which Indian dynasty. So now you can see, but your memory should be that much sharp that even if I ask this question after 3 to 4 months also, you should be in that condition to answer my questions. Okay, so that is a challenge that you have to take. Clear? And now let us see next question. It is about solid waste management in a sorry state and capital, says Supreme Court. So what is the keyword here? Keyword is solid waste management. Okay, what is the keyword? Solid waste management. Okay, so what you have to know, before that from which subject we can cover this? So we have GS paper 3 from environment and ecology, and from GS paper 3 itself we have disaster management, and from GS paper 3 itself we have science and technology. So in these three subjects we can connect this topic clearly: environment and ecology, disaster management, and science and technology. So now let us see this in detail. First, let us try to understand what are the things that you have to remember from this article. You have to know what is the solid waste, and next you have to see what are the causes for lack of proper solid waste management in India, and you have to see what are the laws or acts or policies which present in India to manage the solid waste, and you have to see what is the impact of lack of proper solid management in India. So here, why it is a news? Because actually this article, it is talking about only Delhi. So in Delhi, whatever the waste generated per day, okay, whatever the waste generated is more compared to that of recycling of waste. So because of this, the imbalance is creating, so that we can say there is no proper solid waste management is going on. So for that, we need to take the proper steps. Okay, let us try to understand this topic in detail. So here, Supreme Court wants public health emergency in Delhi due to inadequate solid waste management because the daily waste exceeds processing capacity. So whatever waste processing is going on, rather than that, here many times the amount of waste generated is more. So here if you see the situation, leads to health emergency because daily waste is generated about 11,000 metric tons, but processing capacity is just 8,000 metric tons. That means 3,000 metric tons of extra waste is generated every day. So if you see the data within a month, how much can be piled up? A lot. So even you can see in your life also, every day 5 hours of classes are going on in Rathods Science Academy. And I am saying that you have to revise the topic and you have to take the test every day. So if you're not revising and if you're not taking the test, at the end of the day, it will be burden to you, right? So in the same way, whenever generating is more compared to that of processing, what happened? The piling up of waste which happens at the dump sites. And now it is rainy season. So what happens if dumping of waste is happening in these dumping sites in this rainy season? You can't live there for a single minute also, right? Yeah, that is the thing which is happening. So this article is saying that waste generation is happening at a very fast pace compared to that of processing or recycling. Okay, so there is very increased rate of generation of waste. And because of this, there is potential health crisis. The accumulation of untreated waste poses significant public health risk, like pollution is happening, and even there is a rapid spread of diseases. So because of this, we need a proper policy change. Drastic policy measures are very important, and we have to improve the facilities, okay, so that waste generation rates can be decreased or else processing can be increased. And next one is we need regional collaboration also, like multiple municipal authorities, and we can come up with a different strategies so that we can address this problem. And next one is we can have a proper long-term planning. Long-term planning is very, very important so that we can have the innovative solutions. And next one is public awareness is also very, very important so that we can take some steps to reduce waste generation. And even we need proper judicial oversight. Okay, so judicial oversight is very important. Judiciary needs to take some environment governance and as well as public health safeguards as well. So if you see some basic facts regarding the solid waste, so what is a solid waste? Solid waste comprises solid or semi-solid household waste, and this one is sanitary waste, and commercial waste is there, and even institutional waste, and as well as market waste, and even other non-residential waste is also part here. And actually here street sweepings and slit collected from the sewage drains and horticulture waste, agriculture, dairy waste, so they also can be treated as solid waste. And even we can include this biomedical waste, like some biomedical waste like cotton and whatever the products are removed after surgery is done. So all those things are comes under this solid waste. So here, if you see in this solid waste, what are the issues we are facing? There is no proper implementation of rules, especially the metro cities. They have very old, damaged or insufficient garbage bins, and there is also lack of waste segregations, and even there is problem in the dumping sites, like waste processing plants. They face land scarcity, especially in metro cities, because getting land is very difficult. And next one here is there is also the amount of solid waste is remaining unprocessed. And next one is there is lack of data collection mechanism, and there is formal and as well as informal waste management system, and even there is lack of public awareness. So these are some important issues that we are facing with solid waste management in India. And here if you see, I gave you one prelims questions and even mains question here, so go through this once. And whenever I'm asking any question, so please try to answer that question so that it will be helpful for getting a conceptual clarity for you, and even you can understand how questions can be asked in your examination. Clear? And let us move on to editorial page. In the editorial page, there are two articles which are important, and we are going to see that. And apart from that, in news page, there is no article which is very important from your examination point of view from today's newspaper. There are very less number of articles. So title says using children's personal data legally and securely. So here, even in many institutes, wherever you go, and even if you want to download any app also, there will be getting of data. They will be saying that we will be having access to your mobile numbers or messages or apps or anything, right? So it will be simply without reading them, you will be clicking I accept. So in the same way, even in education also, whenever there is any admission process which is going on in schools or colleges, they will be taking your Aadhaar card data, they will be getting your mobile data or mail IDs, etc., right? So in the same way, whenever if you're talking about in school education, especially below the age of how many years? 15 years of age, right? So normally 10th class students, they will be having 15 years of age. So below 15 years of age students data is also taken. So we have to ensure that that data should be used properly. There should be no misuse of data. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly given. Let us see here. And this article is giving lot of data, and you have to follow this data. So if you see the central theme, it says that child data collection in India's education system needs legal secure protocols and post DPDP Act. Okay, that is Data Protection Act, for protecting privacy and as well as minimizing the risk. So wherever there is data collection is there, so we need to ensure that there is no misuse of data. Okay, there should be proper use of data will happen. So if you see the details, it says that the Indian school education system is one of the most expansive ecosystem in the world. And how many schools are there? You can see the data. 15 lakh schools are there in India and 97 lakh teachers are there. And around 26.5 crore students enrolled from pre-primary to higher secondary levels. So that what happens? We can get a huge amount of data from this schools and as well as teachers, etc. So here we have Ministry of Education which conducts UDIC plus platform in 2018. Under this, what happened? They will be collecting some data, okay, regarding school infrastructure, regarding teachers, regarding school enrollment, and even academic performance. So that whenever Ministry of Education itself is getting data, that data can be used for better policy making and even to ensure the quality of education in India. And even by this data we can focus on resource allocation and we can monitor proper educational programs so that we can map educational trends in our country. And apart from that, even National Education Policy of 2020 introduced automated permanent academic account registry identification. So this will be serving as a unique identifier of the given student so that we can enhance ease of schooling by linking this APAR with UDISC plus. So here we are taking these kind of steps especially to automate the school admissions and even we can reduce the dropout rates especially during this transitional phase and we can enhance the opportunities for continuing the education. So however, you can see that this is to be updated and we have to reflect this regulatory overhauls post enactment of this Digital Personal Data Protection Act. So actually we are coming up with this Digital Protection Act we had been done in 2023 so that we want to protect the data, okay. And if there is no proper data here in the absence of clear regulations of minimum standards, then their compliance with the act will be coming under the question now. So by reading all those things which are given in this article, so I want to give you some small insights. So this article is saying that yes, whenever this UDISC plus is collecting this valuable data, so there are some concerns regarding for what the purpose, what is the purpose of collection of data and how they are ensuring that the data is not misused. And next one is even in this Data Protection Act also we are having some loopholes. So that is also one issue that is not protecting this children's data. And next one is we all know that this is fundamental right. That is Supreme Court in case Swami versus Union of India judgment. It said that right to privacy itself is a fundamental right. And whenever we are handling this children data, so how can we ensure the privacy of these children? So this is also one more question. And next one is what are these security protocols that we are following to prevent this breaches of this security or trust system in the system. So all these things we need to focus on, like how we are ensuring this data security. Okay, so for that, whenever we are collecting the data, so we need to be very sure that for what purpose we are collecting the data. Okay, first one is for what purpose we are collecting the data and how we are handling the data and which softwares we are using mainly to maintain this data. So all these things need to be taken care of. And even we are having some technologies like DigiLocker, so where you can store your documents, original documents, right? And now the question which is arising about the responsibility of this data sharing. So how you can ensure that accountability is there, how you can ensure transparency, and how you can show that whatever the data that you collected, so how you are using to the students or to the children. This is also one important question. And apart from that, if in case of data breach, how can you provide this grievance redressal mechanism? So this is also one question that is present before the government now. So for all these things, to address this problem of data security, data privacy and data theft and data misuse, we need to have a proper governance framework. So this is the thing which mainly said, okay. And next topic here is a new push in Bay of Bengal. So what is the keyword here? So this article is talking about BIMSTEC, BIMSTEC. So this topic we can cover it from GS paper to international relations. So in international relations, you will be getting only mains based questions, but from current affairs you will be getting questions from these groupings. Okay, so in international relations there is chance of getting 3 questions from your mains. First one will be from India and its neighborhood, and second one is from India and bilateral relations, and third one it is from India and organizations. So wherever India is part in any international organization, so from that organization, if it is in news, then you can get a 10 to 15 marker question from that. So here exactly what you need to know regarding this BIMSTEC. So first you have to know the full form of this BIMSTEC, and second one is you have to know members of this BIMSTEC, and next one is why it is formed, like what is the role and responsibilities of this BIMSTEC, and next one is what are the functions of this BIMSTEC and what is the relevance now. Okay, so you have to focus on this important thing, what is its relevance. So why it is important? Because India hosted second foreign ministers of this BIMSTEC meet, and we have to focus on what are the highlights of this meet. That's it. Okay. So if you see this article, it is saying that India hosted second BIMSTEC foreign ministers retreat, and in this meet we focused on 3 important things. First one is regional cooperation, second one is security, and third one is connectivity. So here what are the key highlights of this article? The first one is BIMSTEC strategic role. BIMSTEC serves as a crucial platform for India so that we can easily engage with eastern neighbors. So that what is the thing that we are going to get in return? So we can get regional stability, and we can focus on our economic growth, and we can counter China's increasing of influence in this eastern countries. And next one is it will be also helpful for maritime cooperation between these countries, because maritime transport is very important. It is one of the important mode of transport, right? So for that also it is very important, especially in this Bay of Bengal region. And next one is we are also having diverse sector collaboration. So in this meet they focused on even agriculture, disaster management, blue economy, so that we will be having a holistic approach to regional development, and finally we can address whatever the challenges in these fields through this grouping. And next one is we are also going to have bilateral diplomacy. So our external affairs minister is having the meetings with Myanmar and Bangladesh, so that we can understand the importance of this bilateral ties, and we can also focus on our security issues. Okay, so and next one is even we can have a good focus on environment cooperation between these countries, because combating of climate change cannot be done by a single country like India. So apart from that, even all other countries, they can join hands and they can come up with taking off some measures so that we can address this challenge of climate change. And this one is we can focus on a long-term vision. So in this decade, we want this Act East and Neighborhood First policies, and this BIMSTEC will be reflecting this ongoing strategy so that we can improve regional partnership and as well as collective prosperity. So here I gave you some facts regarding this BIMSTEC. So BIMSTEC is having 7 members. So first one is Bangladesh, second one is Bhutan, and India is part of this. Next one is Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. So here I want to give you one question. You have to see all these members, and you have to see the relationship between India and Bangladesh, India, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, India, Nepal, India, Sri Lanka, and what are the issues you are present between these countries. So if you want to understand the issues between India and Bangladesh, or India and Bhutan, India, Myanmar, India, Nepal, so you can understand how this grouping is effective, whether it is effective or not. Okay, so in this way, if you understand the areas of cooperation between the countries and areas of challenges, then you can easily analyze how the performance of this so-and-so grouping may be. Okay, and actually it was formed in year 1997 with the aim of promoting multi-phased technical and economic cooperation among the countries of Bay of Bengal region. And if you see this region, which is home to 1.5 billion people, and if you see the combined GDP of these 7 countries, it is about US dollars 3.8 trillion. It is very huge. Okay, and here if you see the significance of this BIMSTEC, it is aligned with our Act East policy. This is very, very important point. And this one is it is an alternative to the SAARC, because in this SAARC, Pakistan is also a member of SAARC. So whenever India and Pakistan, there are two enemies which are the part of a grouping, that grouping work will be becoming zero. The efficiency of that work will be done by that grouping is zero. So because of this, here now we are using this BIMSTEC to bypass Pakistan. And next one is, it is also helpful to counter China so that we can increase our influence in the Southeast Asian nations, and we can also promote our intangible culture through this BIMSTEC. And next one is, it is a platform for promoting the regional cooperation in these countries. And I gave you one mains question here, so try to answer this question. And if you go back to our Hindu page, so there is nothing much important in our today's newspaper apart from these articles. Okay. So I gone to the paper well, but I didn't find nothing much important. Okay, here you can see one article. It is about fire accidents at airport. So you have to see what are the reasons for this accidents in airport, which consider part of our infrastructure from GS paper 3. So recently we saw that there is increased accidents in railways and now in airports. So what about the safety and security of the people? So who is responsible for this life threat to the people? So on this question you have to think about. Yeah, that's all. So these are the important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding, and before concluding I want to announce about the courses of Rathods IAS Academy. So you can take GS Foundation course here in Academy, both offline and online, and apart from that we are also having current affairs advanced course where we will be covering other newspapers, and you'll be having weekly quiz, monthly quiz, and weekly compilations, monthly compilations. And apart from that we are also having this NCERT course. And if you want to take the single courses like geography, environment, disaster management, we are also providing them as well. And if you have any queries regarding the courses, so you can call on this number 8074765513. And even this is WhatsApp number, you can text me on that number. That's all guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and please do like and share this video and subscribe to Rathods IAS Academy. Thank you.